Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 100 Miami Dolphins content. Today's episode, Baker is shipped off. We re-signed Jake Bailey, and Chris Grier is trash. Um, for those of y'all watching on Twitter, Twitch, and all that, come on over to YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit the notification bell. What
Yeah.
is going on, the boy Bleezy, the man,
What's
the
up,
myth?
CT? What's up, CT? Doing good, man. We need more subscribers, man. We're kind of chilling where we're at right now. We're trying to get the channel popping, man. Give us a sub up in here one time. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I mean, hey, we got some shit going on, man. As
Well,
always,
we do.
Chris
We do.
Grier and his fucking stupid ass bullshit. He decided to sign the league's worst fucking punter to a contract again. So we're stuck with him and fucking Danny Crossman's bitch ass. We signed Jonnu Smith to a 2-year, $12 million contract. So we got a new tight end, and
We
yeah,
can definitely talk
Baker's-
about him.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
and Baker's gone, which I'm happy about. That's the one good thing Chris Grier's done all offseason.
Yeah. And more moves are to be made within I think we have 3 more days. I think it rolls through Tuesday, but definitely some more moves are going to be made, man. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I think when we were talking, we're still 16 million over the cap. So yeah,
As of Friday morning, we were over $16 million over the cap. That's right.
I'd be interested to see how the signing of Jonnu Smith as well as the re-signing of Jake Bailey affects that number. That would be kind of interesting to know.
I'm not sure where we're at right now. I'm sure somebody will tell us, or we'll figure it out here in a minute.
Time you go on SpoTrack or you go on all these other things like Over the Cap, like you don't know how accurate they are. Sometimes they're accurate, sometimes they're not. Depends on when they were last updated and all that crap. So we'll see, man. Like you said, we got 3 or 4 days. I think it's the 13th. So
Right.
yeah, we got 3-4 days.
Canes.
So
What's up, Canes?
what's going on, Canes?
Canes, what's up, bro? It was great having you on that last show, bro. That was sweet. He's got some hot
he's in
takes.
the hole. Wonder if Canes, are you still in the hole? Are you still in the hole today? Do we got to dig you out? Do we got to throw a ladder down so you can get out? But yeah, man, it's been an interesting week. I think that we've talked a lot about, in the last few weeks, free agency, who we'd like to see signed. So let's go ahead and start with Jonnu Smith, man. How are you feeling about the signing?
Yeah, I think it's when I really didn't know that much about the guy, but when I saw his highlights, I was like, damn, this dude's explosive. Speed wise, I mean, they were giving him the ball out of the backfield, man. And for that to be a tight end, pretty strong. So now I'm hearing a lot of comparison to him and Mike Gesicki. Have you been hearing that talk?
I have.
He's saying he's a faster Gesicki.
Yeah, the problem is if he sucks at blocking too, then we're back to where we were 2 years ago.
Point.
So
I think that's the point. They're saying his strong suit is not blocking, is what they're saying.
Which kind of, again, sets us back to where we were 2 years ago, which is kind of frustrating. But, I mean, you put yourself in the position, and this is where, again, Grier's trash is. As you can see on the thumbnail, I superimposed his head on the football that Jake Bailey's kicking. We need to kick his ass out of town. Starting to get a little bit frustrated with it. Look, it seems that he's doing shit ass backward. He's letting go of good players. I will give him credit. He did get rid of Jerome Baker in that bloated contract. So I'm happy about that. But at the same time, you re-signed Jake Bailey. He was the worst punter last year. You talk about Danny Crossman. Mike McDaniel keeps him on the staff. I mean, where are we going to go with this? What is the plan, Grier? Because to me, the plan is not looking good. I'm sorry, it's not looking good.
At this point, you're right, man. But I think I think they're playing poker, and all the cards haven't been dealt yet. They haven't been turned over yet. I
Well,
think
I
that's
mean,
exactly what's going on.
unless you got a center up your sleeve, a guard up your sleeve, a starting cornerback up your sleeve, a starting middle linebacker up your sleeve, and an edge rusher up your sleeve, a
That's
starting
a lot of
defensive
stuff up your
tackle up
sleeve.
your sleeve. I
That's a
mean,
lot of yeah.
yeah, that's a lot of fucking aces to be trying to slide out of your sleeve onto the table. And so, I
Oh
mean,
shit!
I'm just saying,
How big of
yeah,
sleeves is Chris Grier wearing, man? How big are his sleeves right now?
I know. And again, it's one of those things of don't be stupid and pull out too many aces because there's only 4 aces in the deck.
Don't try
So,
to get too cute, Greer. Come on, man. Work with us. I
can
heard
you
Pat
make me
Kerwin.
offense?
Real quick, man. I heard Pat Kerwin on local radio down here, and it's a guy I really respect as far as his NFL opinion. He's a former GM, and he was going on talking about this is the time you build your roster, man. Right now, he's like, you don't build your roster in spring training. By that time it's too late. He's like, right now, and this is coming from a former GM and Pat Kerwin. He's like, right now is when you build your roster, straight up.
Yeah, and the thing is we know that with the lack of draft capital,
Mike,
with the fact that we're still 16 million over the cap, our free agency signings. Okay, look, I mean, I'm not disgusted with the signing of Jonnu Smith. I think it's more of a you circled back around to where you were with Gesicki. Hopefully, Mike McDaniel is prepared to integrate, a tight end into the offense, which again is a whole different fucking story. But we put ourselves in this position, and now we're sitting here and going,
get your
"Oh
ass up
man,
here,
we
bro.
got to do this bullshit." And it's just, man, at what point do you sit
Yeah.
here and say, you've put yourself in this position? Where are we going to sit here? Are we going to be able to pull a rabbit out of a hat? And I just don't see it. What is going on, Colin, in the building, working
What's up,
that?
Colin?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing tonight, man?
Doing
Good,
good, bro.
man.
Doing good.
Hey, how are you feeling about this Jonnu Smith signing?
I don't know. I feel like he's kind of old, but I guess we'll see. I saw some good highlights, but like I said, a few new teams every few years.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, your
we were
mic's
just
low as
talking about
hell.
how he seems to be again an older version of Mike Gesicki, and kind of how we feel like we've circled around a little bit on the Chris Grier train. Of we had Gesicki, and now we turn around and get a guy like Gesicki but older. And what the hell are we doing, man?
I mean, Colin, do you know anything about the guy other than he's kind of a baller and they're comparing him to Gasecki? Do you know much about him?
I mean,
Hold
I
on,
know.
sorry about that, y'all. I had a Knicks fan talking trash about my Magic. I had to stand on some business, Let them know that
Oh,
the
snap.
Magic are up this year, but my bad, I was lost.
And they're going to get.
But
It's
yeah,
Colin.
no, man,
I think he is on the drive through tonight, Mike. I think he is. Mike,
he
get your
might
ass
be.
up here.
But yeah, like I said, man, I think that we talk about re-signing Jake Bailey. I get it if you can get him at uh, uh, a good price.
Right.
If it lowered our cap hit, that's great. But I'm not thrilled. Again, he was what 30th in
Yeah, I
punt
think
yards,
yeah.
and he was
Right.
32nd in return yards given up. Now, again, I don't necessarily put that all on Jake Bailey. Again, that's more of a what's it called? Danny Crossman issue. But
Yeah.
at the same time, if he's not getting it done and his net yards are freaking 30th, that why are you re-signing him? I mean, I'm still
Well, they
pissed
sure
off.
did.
and we got rid of what's his name, Brandon Fields the year before to get Jake Bailey, and it's like, bro, Brandon Fields was like 16th, so much better. And it's like, what are we fucking doing, man? I don't get it. I'm starting to get frustrated with Grier and
it's kind of hard. You got Dolphins fans, including us, have to be patient because we don't know what's going on, man. We did re-sign Elijah Campbell. That's another one, right? We re-signed him. That popped up last week. Defensive back, special teams guru.
Yeah, Elijah, but at the same time, re-signed. I'm not really concerned about him. I mean, his contract is so low that it's probably not even going to count on the top 51 anyway. So I'm not worried about that part. It's more of, again, where are you going to get this last 16 million from? Yeah, you can finagle the cap after that, try to sign guys and finagle it that way. But even if that's the case, you're starting out of the gate behind the fucking 8 ball, like.
Well, from what I understand too, is you need to be about 7 to 10 million below the cap when the draft comes in for the rookies.
Well, yes and no. I mean, even if you draft them, remember a lot of these contracts aren't really signed until rookie minicamp starts, like slightly before that. And again, if you have the money that got designated as post June 1st cuts, obviously you'll have that available to you to sign those rookies. But at the same time, you're depending on that money to be able to sign fucking bottom of the barrel, bargain shopping, because we don't have any money to sign guys in the first or second wave of free agency. You're going to be left with whatever fucking bullshit's left over.
You know what Pat Kerwin said about the Dolphins? He said that Chris Grier is playing with a house of cards right now, is what he said.
Absolutely.
The
slightest fucking bump of the table is going to have that shit come crashing down.
You got it. Exactly, bro. He's playing with a house of cards right now, man. And he was the same one saying, guys, this is when the rosters get built, is right now. He's like, you don't build a roster in your summer training or even spring training. You build that bitch right now.
Yeah, man. And I think that, again, it's even, look, another thing on Grier is, the motherfucker can't keep his story straight. Another thing that pissed me off is here Howard comes out on a podcast after Grier says during the combine that they left the door open for, X to come back. And X like, that's news to me because I never heard that shit. He didn't say that shit to me. He sure as shit didn't say it to my agent. So
yeah, everybody's Big O is talking about that. He's like, Grier's full of shit telling him that. That's a corporate move, and he never meant that. Which, after looking back, I'm like, yeah, I guess he may be right.
Yeah, and that's the whole point. The guy can't. He talks out of both sides of his mouth. He said the same thing about Christian Wilkins, and sure enough, I mean, how much are you going to believe of that bullshit? Because if he said the same thing that he did to X to Christian, well, X and his freaking, agent are like, we didn't hear that shit. Nobody told us that. So I don't know, man. I think Chris Grier's backed himself in a corner where, again, it's do or die for him this season. I think that given the cap hell he's put us in, if he doesn't deliver, I think this finally might be the time that Stephen Ross doesn't fucking wait too long to fire his ass.
So you like that little saying about the house of cards, huh? You like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty damn accurate. I would say he's on thin ice is a better fucking analogy. It just it gets frustrating. You sit here and you hear all these things. You see the product on the field. We didn't win a playoff game, but even in that, whether we won a playoff game or not, it's still, if we were going to have this, say we won a playoff game or two and we got super close to the Super Bowl, and then we turn around and lose all these freaking great players, and then next year we shit the bed, and then we're going to be really pissed off.
Colin, what do you think?
Hey, I think, I don't know. I start to think the same shit at the end of every season. It's like, man, shit. It's always one or two teams that, like, there's no getting past. And it's going to be the same thing next year. So, yeah, I just want to win a playoff game per usual, But
you want that playoff game?
Yeah. I just hope. We just got to get into the playoffs, man. I don't care if it's on the road this year.
Oh, we will, dude. We're going to be a trendy pick. People are going to be picking us for the Super Bowl again this year. We're going to be a trendy pick.
Doubt that.
I mean, I think some people will. I think it'll be like a wild card, dark horse type of deal. But I think people are going to be on our bandwagon again, man. I mean, I maybe I'm wrong. We got stiff competition in the AFC now. That's part of the problem too, man.
Yeah, you figure Joe Burrow's coming back from injury. You talk about, Aaron Rodgers is going to be coming back. Like, it's going to get a hell of a lot tougher, man. And at the end of the day,
Buffalo?
You put yourself.
Nah.
No, I'm not worried about Buffalo. They're in fucking worse cap position than we are. So I ain't worried about that. But
yeah, they went to shambles last week.
Yeah. But at the same time, we're in the same situation. We really can't sign anybody major in free agency. You're kind of stuck with the roster you have. And to be honest, at this present moment, the roster's not very good. We have some big fucking holes to fill, and I don't know how we're going to be able to do that.
Well, I hate to keep harping on this guy, Pat Kerwin, but he talked about there's a chance the Dolphins could fall back a little bit and not be as good as we were. But then at the same time, there's a chance we could be better. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
Maybe,
shit.
But at the same time, I always feel like whenever we have like a year where fucking our QB doesn't go down, or really our running back one, I guess, doesn't go down, or receiver one, feels like that next year, bro. I don't know, that someone's gonna get hurt, or something's gonna happen that someone's gonna important we're gonna be missing out on, and it's gonna affect us like a team like the Jets. I mean, I'm not saying the Jets would have hit the playoffs, but they were hit with the injuries too. But yeah, bro.
No, injuries were definitely a problem last year. If you try to say that wasn't a problem, man, you're out of your mind.
No, I think it was, man. I'm just talking about on the offensive side, like.
Oh no, I got you, bro. No,
man.
we need to be healthy, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm just excited that again, we know that the offense. I mean, really, other than the offensive line situation, we should have pretty much everybody back, but the defense is a fucking mess right now. I mean, I'm glad we got rid of Jerome Baker, but also that opens up a hole. And, there's a lot of shit left to be done. But
a lot of people, a lot to be done. A lot of people are talking about Christian Wilkins is coming back. That's real talk. I don't know, bro. I don't know what to say about that.
I doubt the only way that happens is he goes out there and they're only offering him 16, 17 mil a year, and we can match that easily. Then, yeah, he might. But again, how many teams are desperate for a starting D tackle of his caliber? There's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And of those, they have a shit ton of cap space that we don't have.
That's you hit the nail on the head. Right again, CT. Right again.
But, and it's the same thing with, the idea of paying Robert Hunt. There are other teams out there that are looking for a starting right guard that are willing to pay him 10 or 12 mil a year, where we're hoping, or from what I've heard, is we offered him 8 mil a year to stay, and he's not interested. And I don't blame him, because again, he's out of all the offensive line picks we've had, Austin Jackson, Eichenberg, all of them, he's the only one that's performed since day one and been consistent.
And to be a quality guard, man, that's going to pay a premium in the NFL right now, man. A high premium. People with the good teams want to build their own line, and if they have the money, they'll be more than happy to bring in Rob Hunt.
Yeah, man, and now is it as premier a position as say tackle? No, but at the same time,
not premier, right?
But again, what if a team like Houston wants a freaking starting guard after their starting guard got injured last year? I mean, hey, they only they've got Laramie Tunsil, they've got other freaking good players. Maybe that's the one missing piece, and they're willing to give him 12 mil a year.
Yeah, hey.
I think we're playing with fire right now, because I said it on our last show. It feels like Chris Grier is taking the stance where he's not scared to let these guys go. He's not scared. Let them go. That's what it feels like to me. I don't know.
Well, if that's the case, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder when you can't re-sign these guys, and then you're going to be, as always, bargain fucking basement shopping to fill these holes, and we're going to be in another situation like the last year of Flores, with an offensive line that you're freaking throwing together with a bunch of broken crumbs and no chips. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah, bro, it's not good.
Consistency. When you said crumbs, I was thinking of fucking Elijah Campbell. I was like, why are we re-signing him to 2-year contract? It's like, and then Jake Bailey, the punter. It's like, what the
right now.
Yeah,
those are the only two moves we've made, man. Elijah Campbell and Jake Bailey.
I mean, we signed Jonnu Smith, but it's like, again, circling back to the same shit you had 2 years ago. So you really haven't improved the team. You just brought it back to where it was 2 years ago.
I like that guy. I like the Smith, Jonnu Smith. I like the signing, man. I'm cool with him. I think it's a shame for him. People are comparing him to Gesicki. I don't think it's fair. I don't know if the guy can block or not. I don't freaking know. But I've seen his highlights, man. He's explosive. He's a hell of a lot faster than Gesicki, man. They were giving him the ball out of the backfield, and he was breaking it for 70 yards, man. Gesicki ain't doing that. And they're saying the guy can high point the ball. He's a big target. There's a lot of upside to him. But if he can't block, the people are going to keep talking about Gesicki.
Yeah, for real. Hey, I'm going to try to hop back in, fellas. I got to fucking tackle these issues. So
all right, Colin.
Music while I do that. But, because I won't really be able to talk, and you guys won't hear me over all the fucking water sound and music that's playing in the store. But I
yeah, you're good, brother.
All right, hey, much love, fellas. And
much love. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. But, yeah, and I agree with you. I think that, with that signing, yeah, I mean, he is better than Gesicki. Now, again, though, if you're really going for that, then why get rid of Gesicki in the first place or let him walk? I mean, again, I understand the cap number situation, but if that were the case, then you shouldn't have fucking tagged him and gave him $12 million to begin with on the franchise tag anyway. You might as well just let him walk then and brought in somebody who can actually block and catch the ball. So it's like, it's doing shit ass backward. And fucking annoying after
Yeah.
a while. And we'll see,
That's
man. I mean, we'll see what happens. We've got 4 days. We'll see how we get under the cap, what we can salvage as far as money to try to sign maybe one or two of these better free agents before we have to sit around and pick through the trash bin. But I mean,
Green Rat saying the blocking stuff is BS.
yeah, I know, because Green Rat wants to throw the fucking ball every fucking play anyway. He doesn't want to run the ball. But we also know that again, and he has a valid point. We've discussed it before. I mean, Tua is a rhythm and timing, quarterback. If you're gonna do that, you need to run in very, very select circumstances. But even at that, if you're putting yourself in the position where you have to run the ball, situationally, you got to have a guy that can do it.
Right.
So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But at the same time, if you're going to do it, you better make sure you have the personnel to do it. And I don't know, man. I mean, from what I've heard, when he played in Atlanta, he played in Tennessee, and he's always been known as a pass catcher. He has played some H-back out of the backfield, as you mentioned, but I really haven't heard any accolades as far as blocking ability. I've heard that he does have good yardage after contact, which I like that.
Yak.
That's getting that, not yard after catch, yards after contact.
Gesicki was not known for that. He would go down with a little push.
Yeah, nah, he would fucking see somebody and he would fucking crumble to the ground.
Right.
But
Green Rat up here calling for Ahmed.
Man, if Ahmed was that good, man, he would have gotten snaps. We wouldn't have had A-Chain in there. As successful as A-Chain was, I mean, even when Jeff Wilson Jr. was hurt, we seldom used Ahmed. So I don't know, man. I'm not on that train. I mean, I wasn't against Ahmed. I don't hate the guy. If he was productive or he was getting the job done, they would have put him out there.
He's Ahmed. He's mid at best.
Yeah.
Ahmed.
Yeah, man. I mean,
similar to Smythe in blocking. He's talking about our new signee. That's interesting.
Well, again, if he's similar to to Smythe, then I'm good with that. Look, Smythe isn't a great blocker, but he can get the job done, and he keeps people honest because he can catch the ball. If this guy
he's
has
fast as fuck, he's going to add to our speed. I think he hit over 20 miles per hour multiple times. I mean, the guy is, once again, speed, and at the tight end position, which, I wanted us to make a move at tight end, and it's looking like that's our move. Right? Don't you think?
I'm not against it.
Basically, between him and Smythe, the guy's basically going to be our tight end one. Is he not?
I don't know, because again, he played behind Hunter Henry in Tennessee. He played behind what's his name in Atlanta? Fuck, who is his name? What was his name?
Pitts. Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, he played behind Pitts. So again, he's not, I don't know. I think we'll see how that shakes out in training camp and whatnot. But even in the backup roles, I mean, he's played extremely well.
Yeah,
I remember. I think Omar said he had like 400 something yards and like 3 or 4 touchdowns last year in a backup role, which, hey, especially in the red zone, I like the idea of having him there. He's a big body. If he's decent at blocking, then it's an upgrade over Gesicki for sure. And if he can catch the fucking ball,
it comes back to McDaniel being able to be creative and use his creativity to use the tight end. The tight end should be wide open. Waddle and Tyreek should be double covered every play. Somebody's got to be wide open in this bitch.
Well, it is, and that's the thing is what we discussed, throughout the season and after the season was, when Mike McDaniel, number one, you run your only check down on the opposite side of the read side of your field, and then there are other times where you have everybody going downfield and there is no fucking check down. The check down is a curl route halfway across the field, and come on, you got to be able to scheme that shit up better than that.
That's just bad play calling. Exactly.
Yeah, well, not only bad play calling, but bad scheming, to be honest. So,
whoa. Who's he calling a Jet fan?
I don't know. He said the spell check is kicking his ass, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this phone. But
he probably hit that buffet today.
Yeah, he's kind of half asleep.
Exactly.
Got that poop coma going on.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when you sit here and you talk about the fact that the play calling, the scheming, the situational awareness of Mike McDaniel, yeah. But then you also got to talk about
our tight end should pop off in this offense, man. That's why I thought Gesicki was going to pop off. And, we know what happened there. We don't need to go there. But, our tight end should get off.
Yeah, and I mean, at the very least, it's another big-bodied weapon in the red zone. And, again, we've talked about, the Dolphins really being a high on Julian Hill. So, again, with Durham Smythe, Jonnu Smith, and Julian Hill, if they can get Julian Hill to come around on that, it would be pretty. It would be a pretty decent tight end room.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we got at tight end. We're not going to get. I don't see anything else coming in there. Unless maybe they draft somebody. I don't know why they would do that now.
Oh, there's no way. I mean,
right.
You only got 4 picks.
Right.
It's at 5. I know we have a first, second, and then a 6th, I believe. I don't think we have a 7th, so I don't know.
I mean, the big ones are the first and the second, and then, I think we have 3 more after that, but I don't know.
Yeah, and you're not going to go and waste the first or second on a tight end.
Tight end, no. I'm thinking linebacker. Or, that first round pick, I was thinking about it today. Offensive tackle would be fine with me because Teron Armstead ain't going to be here forever. We already know that.
No, but that's where we were talking about that Fatele guy. He's a guard. He's listed as a tackle/guard, but he said in his interview with the Dolphins, he prefers to play tackle, but he'll play wherever. And if you go ahead and have him start at guard, when Armstead leaves next year, you move him on out to tackle like you did with Laramie Tunsil. And
right.
I mean, that's always a good, possibility.
Go ahead and draft a tackle, man, because Armstead and Austin Jackson, who knows how long they're going to be around.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole, Austin Jackson thing. I would rather, I think, go guard or center. I would much prefer center. In the instance of, we know we had Robert Jones last year. We had Isaiah Wynn. Whether we're going to bring back Isaiah Wynn on the cheap, I don't know. But that's kind of where we're at with that. What's going on, Michael K. and Green Rat in the building?
The one and only true Finn fan here.
True
Shit.
fan. Okay. He's pulling cards. Green Rat's pulling cards.
Well, I mean, hey, you got it. We're at that part of the season, Green Rat, where you start having to take the hard look in the mirror at the team, and especially when it comes to our GM and how things are being handled.
I love how things are being handled right now.
Really?
Yep.
So, what about it has you excited for next year?
No X.
Okay.
Okay.
If Wilkins
It's got
thinks
you
he needs all
excited.
that money, have a good time. We'll find other players.
Damn.
We'll see. I mean, I know
He's
that
not even worried about it.
I know that we signed that one guy, that one D tackle. He was a backup D tackle. But again, he's more of a rotational piece. But I mean, hey, look, man, I think with
the one
Anthony
guy's
Weaver,
from Iowa, to be honest. I think someone said that today.
yeah, I'm not sure. What's going on, Michael K?
Just sitting here listening to the delusion. Some things never change.
Delusion. What are you talking about? Delusion.
Well, I'm waiting for you guys to say you're going to restructure Tyreek Hill's deal.
We're not. Who said that?
So everybody else has been talking about it. They obviously don't know how salary cap works, or dead cap for that matter.
I think it was Omar Kelly who was saying something about that. But I mean, you could push money down the road, but again, all you're doing is making it worse. I don't really see that as being a legitimate option.
Well, and that's the whole thing. Wasn't it last year Tyreek Hill was talking about retiring after one more year?
No, the first year he signed with us, he said he was only going to play 3 years. So this upcoming year would be his final year, but he backed off of that. He on his podcast he
says
backed away
he
from
says
that.
all kind of shit. Yeah.
He backed off of that statement. He said that on his podcast he's going to keep playing until he can't play no more. So
He kind of implied that he hasn't even gotten started yet, I think was one of the words in one interview.
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, he's young. He's not old. He should have quite a few years.
He's 29. He's about to be 30.
Is he 20? Okay, I thought he was 27, 28.
Nah, he's 29, about to be 30. But even then, I mean, I would rather have an older Tyreek when he starts slowing down, but he's still faster than everybody else.
Yeah, he knows how to run the route, man. He's a great route runner.
I enjoyed, I guess, in the last couple of weeks, all these fake times that came from the combine.
Yeah,
the fake times, you mean?
I don't think I would like someone to put a stopwatch on him. Versus,
I mean, I agree.
Too many guys got too fast in between the playing of the year, and I don't believe it.
I do, and I've told you though, the Green Rat, and I've talked about this on the show multiple times. Training for the 40 and running that speed in the NFL are two completely different things. And it's ironic because I sent Bleezy over an article a couple weeks, maybe a week or so ago, about a month ago. I talked about how the 40 is bullshit and how, again, that all these people do is they train for the 40. There is an advantage to training for it. You can get better at it, but it doesn't translate to the field. And it was like a week ago, I think it was some Justin Afusier or whatever, fucking essentially in an article regurgitates everything I said on the show about, again, you can have the 3-cone drill, you can have the shuttle drill, you can do ins and outs, you can do S drills, you can do P drills. All of those have no fucking bearing on what somebody's going to do on the football field. Why? Because there's no defender touching them. There's there's no, leverage to be played. There's no, you know what I mean? It's lacking so much of the actual football game that it really doesn't translate. It just doesn't. Can you say, yes, it's about their physical ability? Oh, look how athletic they are. That's great. But if it doesn't translate to the football field, I don't give a fuck how athletic you are. A la Noah Igbenogany.
Whoa!
No. He should be starting for us next year.
He went there, huh, Green Rat?
I mean, hey, Noah he had all the he had the size, he had the athleticism. It didn't translate to the football field.
Talk about a gamble.
And I'm hoping like a motherfucker that it's not going to happen to Cam Smith either. But it just might.
Hey, real quick on that note, I thought it was real interesting that all of a sudden people are like, yeah, it's going to be Cam Smith on one side and Ramsey on the other. I'm like, oh, really? That quick? That's how it's going down?
Well, I mean, you got to give the guy credit. The fact that X and Ramsey were pounding the table for him to start over Eli Apple. So, I mean...
Yeah, but starting over Eli Apple isn't a fucking huge task, though.
We've got a limited sample size of Cam at this point. But we'll have preseason. We'll have plenty of time to evaluate.
Yeah, and you got to remember again in preseason last year he was balling out. He did hurt his shoulder in the final preseason game.
He was balling.
Bro, he was breaking up passes left and right. He was making tackles. In that freaking second preseason game, he laid that guy the fuck out when he caught the screen pass and Cam Smith blew his ass up.
Yeah,
the guy has talent, but again, was it Fangio and his propensity to want veterans? And everybody wants to say, oh well, what's his name? Elijah Campbell. Well, Elijah Campbell's been he's a 6-year fucking veteran. So, the fact that he also plays special teams bodes well of why, he was put in that position. But again, he's a veteran guy. And maybe Vic Fangio just doesn't like rookies.
Something happened with Cam because, like you just talked about, he balled out during preseason. We all saw it. As any fan saw it, and then he disappears during the regular season. I think that's some bullshit Fangio was doing, man. I swear.
What do you think, Green Rat?
I think Fangio didn't like him, and that's probably what most of it was.
Yeah.
Exactly. Michael K., what do you think?
I'm having technical difficulties here.
Yeah, you've been in and out and all kinds of shit.
Well, my phone keeps shutting off. I got it on Wi-Fi now. I don't know why it would shut off with if I was just using my cell service. I don't know why it would shut off, but I'm going through my betting slips here trying to get a tail. I've cleaned up pretty good the last 2 days on hockey.
There you go.
Hockey.
But yeah, man, like I was saying though, I mean, we're
getting shots on goal.
Yeah.
Rangers, hold on.
Yeah. So which defensive back did we re-sign here the last day or so?
Campbell.
Campbell?
Yeah. Elijah Campbell, mainly a special teams guy for us, but he did get some I wouldn't say a ton, but he got some defensive snaps, no doubt. But
so Omar Kelly was saying something to the extent that in preseason and stuff, Campbell was playing a little better than Elliott. And it was almost his spot.
Yeah, but we also know that Vic Fangio brought Elliott in. He followed Fangio here for that reason, because he was essentially guaranteed the starter spot. No matter how fucking great anybody else played, he was going to get that spot.
Well, I think
That's
he
why
also
he
got banged up and stuff. So that, and that was Omar Kelly per Ronaldo Hill, I think is what he said.
Yeah, Ronaldo Hill used to be our safeties coach, but now he's gone.
Right. But he was just saying early in preseason or off season last year, training camp, Campbell was leaning towards being possibly the starter because he's running with the first team. And then he got banged up, and then Elliott came in and took it.
See, well, why does him taking snaps with the first team indicate he's going to be a starter? Couldn't it just be evaluation?
Like, okay, this is just what the Omar Kelly and our fucking defensive safeties coach said. I don't know. All I can say is what they said. I'm just asking
a question. Don't get defensive. Don't get defensive now. I was just asking a question. But who said he was going to be the starter? Isn't that Fangio's call to begin with?
No, Ronaldo Hill, who is our secondary / safety coach, had said that, again, in training camp last year, leading up to the regular start of the regular season, that he was on track to be the starting safety opposite Javon Holland. Now, he did get banged up in the third preseason game, but we don't know. That's why we're questioning whether, again, with the issue with Cam Smith, then, Elijah Campbell, outplaying Deshaun Elliott, but Elliott got the start over him anyway. I don't know, man. There was so much shit that just doesn't make sense. In this
exactly.
That's the problem. There's so many people, and especially now at YouTube, and all you got to do is fill out the right paperwork, and you can be a beat reporter for an NFL team. Doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? So
I can agree with that. But coming out of Ronaldo Hill's mouth, it doesn't surprise me. Ronaldo Hill, he used to play for the Dolphins. He is a very outspoken guy. He doesn't hold shit back. He doesn't try to sugarcoat things. I mean, I could see him telling the truth. I'm not saying that he's lying. Omar, saying that Omar's lying about what he said. But irregardless, though, the whole point is if that's the case, why did Vic Fangio choose Deshaun Elliott over Elijah Campbell just the same way when Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard and even Nick Needham, who came back and was playing better than Cater Cole, who after he had his Achilles last year, they all went to Fangio's office and were banging the table saying, Eli Apple is fucking killing us. Put the fucking rookie in.
Right.
All right, and we now that's the whole thing. We're see, that's what I can't wrap my hands around this whole thing, or my head, or however the saying goes, because all this information comes out of the Dolphins, but as a Bills fan, we never hear this kind of crap that happens inside of the facility.
Well, part of it is after we released Xavier Howard, he went on a couple podcasts and he himself had discussed the fact that him and Jalen Ramsey and Nick Needham went to Vic Fangio saying, look, Eli Apple.
Needham, that's the whole thing. Nick Needham played 12 snaps all year.
Yeah, right. But the thing is he also had an Achilles injury that took him 14 months to get back on the field, let alone get back to playing in football shape. Like I've said 100,000 times, there's a difference between being healthy and being in football shape. But the whole point is the reason that Nick Needham is important there, not necessarily because, he came in and he only played 12 snaps. It's prior to that, he was the starting nickel and slot cornerback for the last 4 years, and he's a leader on this team. He's respected in the locker room, just the same way X was and the same way Ramsey is. And that's kind of why the three of them who were the starting corners last year And going into this year, that's their, kind of like, you got the fucking managers going to the boss instead of having the fucking, the workers go to the boss. You know what I mean? That was kind of their way of saying, look, Eli Apple's not getting it done. We were impressed with this kid. We see him in practice every day, just like you do. You're the DC, so you're looking at everybody, but we're the ones playing with these guys. We would like this guy to start. And Vic Fangio's like, well, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm going to fucking do what I want to do anyway. Just the same way.
And I misspoke. Needham played 72 snaps, not 12.
Yeah. But even if the whole point was when he came back, it took him 14 months to come back from that Achilles, but he's still a leader on the team. He was the starter last year, the year before, and the year before that. So, he has pull as far as the team goes. He's respected in the locker room as a leader. And it's the same argument that was had when Jalen Ramsey went to Vic Fangio when Xavier Howard was injured. And how Ramsey's like, let me shadow this person. Let me shadow this person. And Vic Fangio's like, nah, fuck you. I know that might be a good idea, but fuck you. We're going to do it my way anyway. And it's look,
I think that's getting blown out of perspective and stuff, because rewatching some of the games from earlier in the year, X was moving around on the field too. Versus the Chargers, half the time he shadowed, Evans?
Really?
Yeah, but you have to remember Jalen Ramsey wasn't healthy at that point.
Right. All I'm saying, well, then X was out. And very similar. I'm just saying they moved Howard around, so why wouldn't they move
Ramsey around when X was injured? And that's what I was trying to say.
And he did move him around some, just not the whole game.
From what I saw and from what Ramsey said out of his mouth, is the next week after he was moving around in that one game, they said, was that a part of the game plan? And he goes, no, it's something I did on my own. So it's not something that Vic Fangio was like, all right, Ramsey, I had an X moving around before. Now that X is out, I want you to move. No, Ramsey was like, fuck this. I'm not going to let this guy, because again, we got destroyed by, what's his name? It was the game before the Tennessee game, the fucking slot receiver for Tennessee. The one that fucking caught that long-ass touchdown pass on fucking Kader Kohou when Kader Kohou didn't know where the fuck he was supposed to be or what the fuck he was supposed to be doing. And that's when Ramsey said, all right, enough. He pointed to Javon Holland, and he had Javon Holland play the fucking slot receiver in a bracket type situation, and he went to the other side of the field where he wasn't supposed to be, and he played it. The thing is how much of that was Fangio's doing, or how much of that is Ramsey saying, look, you know what? You can keep calling this shit. Kohou keeps getting his ass burned. We're going to fucking change things around a little bit.
But he didn't do it the rest of the year. So one game. I'll just say I understand you. That's what he possibly said, but I don't truly believe it because, like I said, going back and starting to watch the games over from the year, I'm seeing a lot of things that are being said that are just plumb not true, like not using the tight end this year. Man, you need to go back and watch some of the first couple games, which I did say to Bleezy, maybe we should as a group, just to kind of refresh on what happened earlier in the year. Because the playbook was huge early in the year. Huge.
I'm absolutely down for that because, again, and if that's the case, because I do remember early in the year we were running more and we were throwing the ball to the tight end a little bit more in the first few games. But then, like we talked about, when Isaiah Wynn got injured and then Connor Williams got injured, the run game and the fucking tight ends out of the fucking, on the, what are they, because he wasn't running them up the seams. He had a lot of them on the block and release, like, they pretend to block and then they'd fucking release. Those were fucking tearing them up early in the year, but then we just stopped doing them.
I agree. Because we tried to run the fucking ball too much.
Oh, shit.
I would love to, and I wish we could do it on air. Rewatch the game and stuff, with it on the screen and stuff. I know you guys would get in trouble, so we can't do it that way, but it'd be nice somehow that we could sit there and watch the same game. And
Which game are you talking about?
I started with the Chargers, and I'm going through. I'm up the other day. I was up to getting ready to watch the fucking the Broncos game, but I don't want to watch that one because that just was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing of, not wanting to go watch the Tennessee game, know how fucking infuriating the play calling was. I mean, the fact that we gave up that long fucking punt return, and it's like, man, I obviously we need to go back and rewatch them and get some more context, but just going into those games, knowing how fucking dreadful of a watch they're going to be, it can be tough at times.
I'm almost less pissed about the Tennessee game as I am going back and watching the Kansas City Miami game and wherever the fuck it was.
Germany, yeah. Well, at that and the fucking Baltimore game, I mean, we were fucking in that game in the second quarter, and then we give up that fucking kick return, and they go down to like the 8-yard line. It takes them one play to fucking score. Then what? 2 minutes later, after we punt the ball, they return it to like the 35 fucking yard line, and they score in 3 or 4 plays, and now all of a sudden we're down fucking 14 in a matter of fucking 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just like, fuck, man, and then it gets out of hand. I mean, obviously we know, going back and in that game, knowing later on you fucking get Bradley fucking Chubb injured for no fucking reason. I just, just as much as I want to go back and rewatch these games, I fucking hope to God that Mike McDaniel's going back and rewatching these games and seeing where he fucked up, because there's a lot to address across the board.
I'll agree with there's a lot to address across the board.
I mean,
I'm probably less. I'm a little less on Mike McDaniel as the issue as some of you guys are, but that's just my own opinion.
Well, no, I agree. I think that the play calling situationally, I do think, the time management at the end of first halves, stuff like that, the challenge situation, things like that, the getting the play, not getting the play in fast enough. I can blame Mike McDaniel for those, but the other thing is the overarching of, you're the head coach. You see Danny Crossman fucking up left and right. You should have addressed it this offseason by fucking firing him. Now, let me ask you this.
I told you why he wasn't fired right away.
I know, because he got fucking Ross in compromising positions. We're aware. But no, the thing is so you tell me what you think about the freaking Jake Bailey re-signing.
I think I'll quote Omar, it's a punter. Hopefully we don't have to use him very much.
Yeah, but the times we did have to fucking use him, he was 30th in the fucking league in average net yards. So, I mean, come on, man. It just, in conjunction with Crossman's inability to fucking play coverage or coach coverage teams, I don't put it all on Jake Bailey, but at the same time, he's part of that fucking problem.
I have no idea why they re-signed him. That's the honest truth.
Because I was trying to
be one of the first cuts.
I did too, and I thought that at very minimum, if you did re-sign him, maybe it was you re-signed him at a fucking great contract worth fucking, pretty much nothing on the salary cap. But apparently that's not the case. Apparently we're paying him freaking $4.5 million a year, which is fucking ridiculous.
Sorry.
Now you're good. What do you think about the Jonnu Smith signing?
Were you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
From what I was coughing, so I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Stop doing that fucking drugs.
I've heard, from different people, like, your beat writer, old Omar and stuff, said that he's a pretty good blocker and stuff. So, the people that are pissed because we're doing tight end versus getting, Wilkins signed or whatever, they're going to find anything to be pissed off about. And this is their way of, putting something out there to deflect from.
Yeah, shitting on
what
him
they're really
to
pissed
fucking
about.
pump up Wilkins kind of thing. Yeah. But no,
and maybe not Wilkins or X or whoever, insert player at that spot. But
do you think
who's that defensive tackle just signed for almost $100 million for 4 years?
Who?
Dude just signed yesterday.
Last couple days.
No, it wasn't Chris Jones. Yeah, dude, it was $98 million for 4 years, defensive tackle.
This in the past couple days?
Yeah, a day or two.
I'm not sure.
Hold on, I'm sitting at my computer. Hold on. But there's no way Wilkins is getting that kind of money. Wilkins,
yeah, and that's what we've been trying to argue is everybody was saying as far as him being on the same level of the guy Leonard Williams, who got $17.5 million a year, but he got a $30 million signing bonus, and only the first 2 years were guaranteed. So really his cap number was like $7 million his first year. Then it jumps to 17.5. And then his third year, he has no guaranteed money. So it was like, that's where people were trying to set the bar, which apparently Miami Dolphins last offseason offered him a similar contract, and Christian Wilkins declined it.
Well, because allegedly it was right around what Ed Oliver got, which was like right around $17 million. Ed Oliver's contract was $68 million for 4 years, and it turns out that was pretty much a gift for the Buffalo Bills because they didn't pay. They paid him by his past production, not what he could do. So he technically outplayed his contract this year between sacks, tackles for loss, impact plays, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what he did, though, Christian Wilkins can expect right around the same amount of contract because they played around the same amount. I think Oliver had 9 sacks where Wilkins had 8. But Oliver had like 12 or 13 tackles for loss where Wilkins had 3 or 4, I think it was. You know what I mean?
But the thing is though, Ed Oliver was more consistent as far as sacks over his career than Christian Wilkins has.
He only had 3 or 4 last year.
Yeah, but I'm saying that Christian Wilkins, he's never had more. This year is the first time he's had more than 3.5 sacks in a season in his entire career.
Right, and that's the whole thing. But if the rumors are true that he wanted more money, then he was
wanting, supposedly he was wanting between 20 and 22 a year.
Right, and paying on past performance, and that's how you get your contract is past performance, not what are you going to do for me if we give you all this money? Because you could be a complete bust, just like Deshaun Watson. Do you think the Cleveland Browns are excited about the contract that they gave Deshaun Watson?
Oh no!
Yeah, they're
But hey,
screwed.
look at Russell Wilson. His ass didn't last what 1 year.
Well, technically 2, but the Broncos
Denver.
got to pay his. The Broncos got to pay his ass now.
Yeah, they're gonna have to
Well,
eat it.
yeah, but yeah, you got to eat it. But they still said, "Fuck this, I'm done with it." How do we know that
Yeah.
Cleveland, if
How you
Deshaun
handle
Watson shits the bed this year again, that they ain't gonna be doing the same thing?
They very well
Deshaun
could.
Watson has Judy now, though, right?
No,
I don't give a
No,
shit
Judy
about
was-
that, man.
Judy
I don't
went
give
to
a
the
shit.
Went to,
Jerry Judy went to the Patriots.
I thought he went to the Browns.
No,
Judy ain't gonna save Watson.
Yeah,
Well,
I was
no,
gonna say even I don't give a fuck. The way Deshaun Watson looked, oh man, and we talked about this, and it's the same situation with fucking Le'Veon Bell. You're in your prime, you sit out, but Deshaun Watson wanted to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna play because I refuse to settle with these bitches." But then you end up settling with them anyway and giving up a year of your career in your prime, and then you come back and you play like shit.
no. Hold on a minute. I am corrected. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I stand corrected. He did go to the Browns, and the only reason I said the Patriots is because TD Frauds talk said he got traded to the Patriots.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, too bad they didn't fucking trade fucking TD off the Dolphins.
Dude,
too.
I don't know if you've been following it, but he banned me completely off his show.
Why would he
I,
do that?
I haven't watched anybody's show here lately.
Because I keep correcting him. Oh, I'll send you the clips. I clipped
Well, I
it.
appreciate you coming on here, Green Right? We appreciate you, my brother.
Dan Mitchell gave TD all my information. Dan Mitchell keeps talking about me on his show, even when it's not me. I got my
He
I got my
keeps talking
fellow
about
stories.
you. Hold
yeah.
on. Well, do you have a beef with Dan Mitchell?
Well, I have a beef with any Bills fan that embarrasses the Bills organization. You know, the fan base, not the organization. They can do that all on their own. But Dan Mitchell actually came out, and Crypto told me yesterday. Dan Mitchell came out and is the self-proclaimed best content creator in the Buffalo Bills Mafia.
oh Jesus. But anyway, yeah, I don't really care about that. But that's funny. But no, the whole thing is though, I don't care if Jerry Jeudy goes there or not. It doesn't matter. The way that fucking Deshaun Watson looked, he's skittish in the fucking pocket. Whereas when prior to that, bro, when he was in Houston, he was poised in the pocket. He knew when to run. He knew when to escape and get some extra time and make the throw. But bro, in Cleveland, he looks a fucking mess.
In typical Browns fashion, it sounds like they're not even thinking about re-signing Flacco. You know, they're like, Flacco's not even an option. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would they not re-sign Flacco?
Yeah, bro.
Re-signing Flacco could be a problem with Watson. I understand why.
It's crazy.
That is
true.
crazy.
Maybe they can't afford him.
But even but the thing is they signed him to a fucking nearly vet minimum, and he came in and balled the fuck out when he hadn't played in 2 fucking years.
Right, but now they have to re-sign him again, though.
What?
I don't think he'll play for chump change
afford
this
to
year.
sign him because he proved that he's worth more than he proved he's worth more than the vet minimum.
Yeah, and I can get that,
can't
but
afford him.
I don't know. I mean, really, in all honesty, there's only 3 or 4 teams, maybe Arizona, maybe Denver. Who else? I mean, who would else would be looking for an older guy that's going to be a stopgap for a year or two for you to try to develop somebody or draft somebody and develop them? I don't know. I mean,
Tennessee, the Commanders, because Tennessee has that Will Levis.
yeah, but I think they're gonna stick with Will Levis because they benched Tannehill, and even when Levis sucked dick, they continued to keep Tannehill on the bench. I think they're tied to Will Levis whether he sucks or not. I don't see them bringing anybody else.
And the other one is the Commanders.
The Commanders, yeah. So 3 teams off the top of our heads. 3.
What's the Commanders? Heineke?
Was that the last starter?
He was the one throwing the ball like 400 or 500 yards a game.
Yeah, I'm just remembering they played like 4 different fucking quarterbacks last year.
Yeah, but he was the one that was throwing the ball all over the place, taking a ton of sacks, throwing a ton of interceptions, but throwing the ball like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so again, 3 teams. Back it up, back in the building. Let's go.
How much would Miami save if we cut Mike White?
We would save 3.5.
Done.
We guaranteed him $1 million for his second year of the contract.
So who do you think we might sign if we ship him out of here?
I don't think we're going to. I think that look, we all know based on the way that things transpired between Mike White and Skylar Thompson, they don't believe in Skylar Thompson. And I don't know what the fuck happened there because he played pretty damn good for a fucking rookie when Tua was injured. And between the end of that season and the start of training camp, they handed Mike White the freaking silver spoon. And Skylar wasn't even an afterthought. I mean, yeah, he was the 3rd emergency quarterback that didn't count against your 48-man roster, but that's it. That's the only thought that he got all fucking year.
Well, again, going off reports from training camp, Mike White played way, way better than Skylar did in training camp. Mike White was slow the first couple of weeks, but then really picked it up and was actually was completing more balls than Tua was for a little while. But with that, you're trying things that you normally wouldn't try and stuff. So I don't know, but that's just what they were saying was Mike White way outperformed Skylar in training camp and stuff.
But the thing is, and if that's the case, though, in the regular season, when, obviously in the Denver game, yes, Mike White came in that Denver game and fucking dropped a dime. But again, in other cleanup duties, not so much. I mean, he threw 2 fucking pick sixes.
Mike White was equivalent to Teddy Bridgewater. I put them on about the same level.
You can't cut Mike White until after June 1st.
Well, yeah, we know that. Yeah, almost all of our guys have to be post June 1st designations. We know that.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Nope.
I was thinking maybe Wack Jones or Zach Wilson would be a great backup.
Post or pre June 1st, he's still a. If you cut him, he's 1.7 million cap hit. Where if you ride, he's getting cut because his cap number this year is 5.2.
If I was,
he's getting cut.
I know it would never happen because they don't want the static. I would draft a quarterback so fucking quick it'd make your head spin.
Is there's no way that you're signing Wack Jones or Zach Wilson, and like you said though, Mike, that's where I was saying that you only save like $3.5 million because his dead cap's like 1.7, but his salary is like 5.3, so it rounds about to like 3.5. But again,
well, regardless of that, they still have to pay him. That the money that he gets paid doesn't affect the salary cap. The only thing it affects is Ross's pocket.
Well, no, from my understanding, the only guarantee is the 1.7 that he's guaranteed from the previous contract. If we cut him post June 1st, we do get 3.5 in savings. But the problem is now you got to turn around and sign somebody else or draft somebody else. So you're still in the same fucking position that you were when you said, oh, well, we got Skyler. Skyler played pretty damn well for us, but then you brought Mike White in anyway. If you cut Mike White, you're right back to where you were with fucking Skyler Thompson.
Well, yeah, his guaranteed salary in prorating signing bonus is 1.7, so he gets that 1.7. He got 30. Fuck, what did he get?
I think
you got to pay the base salary. I think you have to pay the base salary, but he got guarantees like 4.5 million when he signed.
Yeah, and 3 was last year, or whatever, 2 point whatever it was, and then 1.7 is guaranteed this year. His estimated salary for this year was like 5.3 or something like that. So if we do cut him post June 1st, we would get 3.5. But again, that opens up a fucking hole. You're right back to where you were, just the same way. Like, I like the Jonnu Smith signing, but in reality, even if he's a better blocker than Mike Gesicki, if you're putting yourself in the position where you cut Gesicki, you let him walk, but then you give Jonnu a 2-year, $12 million contract, the details have not been put out yet as far as how much of that is signing bonus, how much is that is actually against the cap, which I'm curious to see, because as of Friday morning, we were still 16 million over the fucking cap. So where's this other 16 million going to come from? And we got fucking 4 days to do it.
Well, all their contracts are already restructured. All the ones they can restructure are going to restructure. They just didn't release them yet.
But the thing is, it's okay. And if that's the case, though, I agree with Green Rat. And I said, look, I don't want to I would rather Tua play on his 5th-year option. But at the same time, if extending him, giving him a decent signing bonus, say 20 mil, signing or roster bonus, and you can make that cap hit this year instead of the 21 million or whatever it is on his 5th-year option, and make it 10 mil, then yeah, you save 11 million right there, but you still need other fucking money to sign other guys, because if you can't sign guys in the first or second wave of free agency, we're back to Chris Grier doing the same bullshit this motherfucker does every year and picking fucking scraps out of the fucking garbage bin.
Here's what they can do. They can give him, and that's
Sorry, Mike. We have breaking news.
Oh shit! Amicus in the building.
Tyreek.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, man?
How you guys doing?
We're doing. But if they get,
hold on. You gotta close YouTube. You got
All right.
Fucking rookie.
All right, are we good now? Oh no, damn it! He's supposed to. You said close fucking YouTube. You didn't have to close StreamYard. Damn it! But
breaking news: Tyreek Hill refrained from any physical retaliation. Tyreek Hill involved in a clash at Atlanta comedy gig escalates after his exit. It's on TMZ right now.
Are you kidding me?
Hey, at least he didn't retaliate, so let it be, Obviously, he's learning something.
Did he pull a Ray Lewis?
How about now?
Yeah,
What's
you're
up?
good now.
Yeah, you're
Perfect.
good now, bro.
So getting back to that, if Grier doesn't extend Tua, that's technically professional suicide on his part. Because they're forcing him to take a $23 million cap hit this year when they could sign him to, say, a 3-year. We'll do something easy. 3-year, $120 million fully guaranteed contract. That's only $40 million per year. But they can extend that salary cap out with 2 voidable years.
Yeah, and you could, but we also know that, contrary to fucking other stupid fucks' opinions, Stephen Ross is willing to fucking write a large check. I mean, he's done it multiple times.
Yeah. Right.
Say fucking Stephen Ross gives him a $40 million roster bonus. Instead of that 3-year being 40 a year, it's only, say, 20, 25. But in this first year, it's going to be nearly nothing. It's the next few years that the money will actually kick in.
Right. Well, see, that's where the misconception is. You get all this guaranteed money and all this roster bonus and workout bonus. Yeah. Whatever the contract is, whatever's paid out to that player, it's dollar for dollar according to the salary cap. So I don't care if they give him a fully guaranteed contract. Look at Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's fully guaranteed contract. They're going to be paying salary cap on that for the next 12 years.
But that's where you're incorrect is as far as incentives go, if the incentive is something the quarterback or whatever player, it doesn't have to be a quarterback, but if you put incentives in a contract that a player has never reached before, it does not count against the salary cap.
Until he makes that money.
Until so say they give to however many touchdowns he had this year. If they give him an incentive for $10 million, if he throws one more touchdown, if he reaches that, it does not count against the cap because it's never been achieved by him before. Now, if you
pay him the money, it's part of the cap, part of his contract.
No, the incentive part does not count against the salary if it is something they have never achieved before. The only time that it does affect the salary cap is if you say, hey, you've already gotten, say, 10 sacks. We'll give you $2 million or $3 million if you get 10 sacks. If they do reach that 10 sacks, it counts against the salary cap. I'll bring that shit up. We did that shit last off season where we broke down the incentive thing when they were trying to manipulate how restructuring or extending Tyreek last year when they did to get the money to sign Ramsey.
Here's how I think it works. You're right, CT. It does not. The reason it doesn't count against the salary cap is because it's considered during the deal as something that's unlikely to take place, right? So it's not counted. It's not counted against the salary cap. But when it is counted, I believe, you have to double check, but if they hit their incentive, it doesn't count that year. It counts the next year. It's based on the previous year incentive being reached.
Exactly. Yes. It's going to count at some point.
That's what I was trying to say is, yes, it does eventually count, but I'm saying
dollar for dollar.
It doesn't count.
It's dollar for dollar. If that player gets paid that money, it goes on the cap at some point.
Yes, and I agree. I was just saying, but the purpose of this conversation was for us to reduce this year's salary cap by extending to extending to or re-signing him or however you want to say it, because he's on his 5th year. Technically, they could re-sign him and extend it, but they could also offer him like you said, instead of saying we're going to let you play this out and then we'll add 2 years or 3 years on the contract, they're going to say, okay, we're going to totally eliminate the 5th year option payment by giving you a roster bonus or incentives to get you to where you would have been. without having it count this year is what I was trying to get.
A roster bonus will count this year.
Yes, and I understand that. But if you give them, so from my understanding, if you give them a signing bonus, you can spread the signing and or roster bonus out over
5 years.
3 years.
5
no,
years.
Is it 5? I thought it was only 3. So
No,
it's 5.
Yeah, for a sign-in bonus, you get it right there on the spot, but it can be spread out over the course of the 5-year tenure of the contract.
Okay.
Well,
So
it can only be spread out for the length of the contract. That's why they put voidable years in. And it's only two.
but what I'm saying is, irregardless of that, the whole point is if they give him an incentive that won't count till next year, or they give him a roster bonus or a signing bonus that can be spread out over the length of the contract, it can save us substantial money versus the 21 or 20. I think you said 23, but I've heard 21 is what is.
I think it's 20. I think it's 23 and some change.
But irregardless, if you can get that down to say 10 or 12 million, you're saving 12 million, and now you're only 4 over the cap. But at the same time, you still have other moves to make, because if you don't make other moves, you can't sign nobody in the first or second wave of free agency. And again, fucking Chris Grier's back to fucking the back of Kroger in the fucking dumpster trying to find whatever the fuck he can.
House of Cards.
Yep, the one bump of the table, that shit's come crashing down, baby.
Oh, congratulations on winning the division next year, by the way.
Well, I appreciate it. What's going on, man? Boy over here is getting upset, saying that the organization is embarrassing themselves, Amicus.
No, I was actually kidding. I actually 2 to 3 moves I don't mind. The Trey White one kind of shocked me a little bit. I didn't.
Yeah, that one didn't shock. That one didn't shock me at all.
That's the one that did. The Poirier one doesn't shock me at all, because it was a 2-year deal, right? To bring him, he was going to go to be a Dolphin. We did a 2-year deal. We all knew that it was only really 1 year, and he started to decline a little bit. And Taylor Rapp is the truth. So once I saw Taylor Rapp get a lot of playtime, being a bench safety, bro, I already knew Poirier was out of there. So that didn't shock me. Mitch Morse, that's a little shocking. I'm assuming we're going to go center in the draft pretty early, and then
they're moving McGovern to center.
Well, we still have to we have to do something at center at some point. And keep in mind, Bates is gone, right? Now I love a 5th round pick for a guy that's not even a starter. That's great, but Bates was a swing guy, right? He could play any position. He was valuable, but I don't mind the 5th. At any rate, the Trey White thing really shocks me.
Here we go. This is what probably happened with Morris. I think he probably decided to retire.
Yeah.
Instead of retiring, being a team player, he went to the Bills and said, "Look, I'm going to retire." He retires. He gets no money.
Right.
So what they did was the Bills said, "You know what? We'll just cut you. We'll pay you." But then they also get relief on the cap. He retires, they got to pay the whole cap number.
The Bills are falling back, man. The Bills are regressing.
The Bills are actually moving forward.
Yeah, no, I was kidding about the division. I think this is all good. The Trey White thing, again, I don't really understand. I do get the Achilles. And listen, if he cannot get back to form, then they know their players better than we do, right? I just know that he's an all-pro fucking cornerback, and it's hard to let go of those guys. We were already short on cornerback, and now we're getting rid of Trey White. What the fuck?
Y'all don't leave Josh Allen out on an island like you always do.
And they really weren't short on corner because they had got Rasul Douglas when Trey White went down.
Okay, fair enough. So Rasul Douglas, and you got to hope Christian Benford continues to go, right? Then what?
Me personally, I think they're going to use more Elam, and I think they're going to go to a single safety, and they're going to use more Elam and man-to-man coverage.
Well, that's a good point.
More importantly than the Bills, what do y'all think about this Tyreek situation?
I think you know what? I think Tyreek's got anger issues.
Right.
I think what needs to happen is he needs to go buy Epstein's old island and just go live there by himself in the off season so he can't get in trouble.
Hold on. What did I miss? I don't know the Tyreek situation. What happened?
Long story short, Tyreek, he was in a verbal altercation at an Atlanta comedy club. And
When did this happen?
Apparently last night, but the cops said they reviewed the video and determined that the woman was the primary aggressor in the altercation, and that she and her male companion were detained in handcuffs. But that Tyreek did refrain from any physical retaliation. He simply denied the accusations and immediately got the hell out of there before the situation spiraled, which they did say after his exit, things did escalate. But he was not part of that. So you got to give the dude credit. At least this time he learned, all right, I got my ass in trouble the last few times by being a hothead. Let me get the fuck out of here and be done with it. So obviously, you know.
So the police report says he didn't touch her?
Yeah, that's what he said.
No, does the police report say he didn't touch her?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm not nothing involved in full blown brawl at Kevin Hart's comedy show. See, Sportspedia says he was involved in a full blown brawl at Kevin Hart's comedy show after heated confrontation over seating.
I think that it ended up in a brawl. Is when. Hey, Amicus, I was going to say we should put it over-under on Tyreek's lawsuits on the offseason.
Well, listen, Dana White was on camera slapping the hell out of his wife. So, I mean, he's still the president of the UFC, which, by the way, UFC 299 is on right now live on pay-per-view, and I'm enjoying it. So, apparently, you can just hit women and it doesn't matter. So, Tyreek should be fine.
Well, it's apples and oranges when you're comparing Tyreek Hill to the bald guy. You just said his name and I can't remember it.
Dana White.
Because what's he going to do? Suspend himself since he's president of the UFC?
Well, there's owners of the UFC. They could have gotten rid of him if they wanted to.
Well, he owned the original. There's probably a stipulations contract that says you don't. Oh, I sold you this and you're making a lot of money off me.
No, what it is Dana White is the face of a global enterprise, and if you get rid of him, you hurt the brand. So they made an exception. Yeah.
Right.
Big O just came out and said the Tyreek issues seem to be a constant.
And we've known this. And the Big O, even Big O's the big. I don't even know. I can't even think. Other than the Big O, which we know what that is.
He has the Napoleon complex. Green Rat can relate to that. Green Rat, tell us how does that work?
I think he's on mute.
I only talked to Michael K.
Oh, thanks, wow. Boy, have things changed in the past 6 months. My God, you only speak to Michael K. Hey, Green Rat, how's it going, buddy?
Good evening.
So wait, this is pretty funny though, because this heated confrontation
earlier.
It was over seating where he got to sit.
Well, yeah, it says something about he sat down. Some lady showed up, said, "Hey, that's my seat," and yeah, I think that's where it all started. He said, "Hey, that's my seat."
Yeah, the dude has anger issues, man. I mean, he's an arrogant, cocky little prick.
I mean, we're talking about this on our last show before any of this shit ever happened. How many lawsuits can you deal with, man? It's like he just doesn't even give a fuck, man. It's one lawsuit after another.
So did y'all see that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl again? Jesus God. I'm still not over it.
Well, yeah. You know, if we would have had do you see how many amputations they're having over there?
Oh, I saw that today, Bleezy. That's crazy that it took this long for that news to come out. That's insane.
Yeah.
Those dumbasses sitting there with no gloves, no shoes, no shirt. I mean, it's ridiculous.
There's up to 20 people that have been advised to amputate at this point.
No shit, 20?
Yes.
Yeah, you
It's up
can't.
to 20.
With minus 9 degrees, that game was, right? The Dolphins and the Chiefs?
Oh,
No, it was negative 30. Thank you very much. And CT fucking done sat there and said it's bullshit that they moved the Bills game. But yet here we got fucking people having fucking fingers and shit amputated.
Whoa.
The Bills game was moved because fans couldn't get to the fucking game. It had nothing to do with amputations or the temperature. And it wasn't minus 30. That was the wind chill. The actual temperature was minus 6 or something.
Yeah, but again, the fucking wind chill does lower the fucking temperature, especially in cases of frostbite, which is something we can go back to our show. And I said, at that temperature with between 25 and 30 mile an hour gusts at negative 30 degrees with wind chill is asking for severe frostbite. I said that shit on this fucking show. And now the NFL, I hope the fuck that every one of these fans sues the living shit out of the league, because that is a dangerous situation. I called it that way.
Yes, because it's the league's fault that people don't know how to properly clothe their body.
Kansas City put a statement out not to go outside that night. They told people
why
to
the fuck do they have a game? Why would they
Doesn't
have a
matter,
game?
because when Kansas City says that, if Kansas City puts out that disclaimer, then why at the same argument is the NFL only moved or only delayed the game because Buffalo's mayor said that they that because of the snow and the transportation issues that they were shutting down the roads. If Kansas City is making the same argument, the city says it's not safe, then why did the NFL still put the game on?
Isn't Nepal liable for when people die on Mount Everest?
No, well, you know the risk,
Well,
but
you
it
know
does
the
not
fucking
change.
risk when it's minus 6 degrees. You know to clothe your body properly for the weather.
I
They
can't
didn't have to
reschedule
reschedule the Bills game. The Bills game should not have been rescheduled.
The Bills game in 2022 at game time was 0 degrees, minus 32 wind chill, 0 amputations.
And that's my whole point, though, is what I'm getting at is I agree with you. I think it's fucking people being stupid. However, at the same time, you can't say we canceled or not canceled, but we rescheduled a game because of transportation issues based on the warning or not the warning,
It was
the
state of
executive
emergency.
order or whatever the mayor in Buffalo put out. That
Actually,
if
it was the governor.
Say it again.
It was the governor, and I'll tell you right now, in the NFL. So hold on a minute. So the NFL cancels the game for fans to go and watch the game. They still play the game because don't have to worry about the seats, but they got the stadium cleared. What if something happens? What if something happens that you got to get to a Trauma 1 center, like DeMar Hamlin or one of these players that's been paralyzed over the years, and you can't get them there?
And I agree. I'm not arguing that point. I think you're missing my point, Mikey. Mikey, my point is if the NFL is willing to say, based on the governor's whatever executive order, whatever, declare emergency or whatever it was, we're gonna change the time of this game, irregardless of whether fans are there or not. Which, by the way, we have the fucking video of people being in there, and your dumb fucking fans are, instead of shoveling snow down the little fucking little chutes they had. These motherfuckers are getting in them and riding them like fucking slides, like dumbasses. But anyway, I'm not gonna fucking go there.
Bills Mafia, baby.
If the same is true in Kansas City, they made a warning due to the risk of frostbite because of the below zero temperature and high wind chill.
A digit.
What it is the Buffalonians know how to dress because they're used to that type of weather.
Kansas City would be used to it. It gets cold as fuck there too.
Not like that though. It don't do that. That's an anomaly in Kansas City. It don't get like minus 30 wind chill.
Okay, yeah, and I understand that. But in that situation, you would think that the NFL proclaimed for fan safety that they moved the Buffalo game. You would think that the ideology or the thought process would be the same in the Kansas City game. And again, I don't care either way. Look, we got our ass kicked. I don't give a fuck. The point is, though, I do think that if the argument is to be had, you are willing to cancel or reschedule one game due to fan safety. You refused to reschedule due to fan safety.
It wasn't fan safety. Why do you keep saying fan safety?
Yeah, I agree with Mikey. Why do you say fan safety? Listen, it's apples and oranges, CT.
The statement from the NFL said, due to inability of safe travel to and from the stadium.
Right.
Whether, again, they said whether it was for the teams or whether it was for fans, it does not matter.
Believe it or not, it was for the people that weren't even football fans. They've never had a state of emergency.
Fans are the ones that are traveling, so it's the same thing, guys.
But that's what I was trying to say is, even though they didn't specifically say it was fan safety, the way they worded it made it seem or imply that they did it for fan safety. If they can make the argument that you did this for fan safety, but you failed to do the same thing for fan safety, albeit a different situation, the same ideology applies, they would be held liable. Because
can somebody look up how many people had a heat stroke during the Bills Miami game? There's a fan safety issue, right? Half the fucking stadium is just beaming with the sun. Where's the fan safety there? But no. When that shit was happening with the fucking sun, y'all didn't say a word. Look it up. I guarantee you motherfuckers were passing out.
I think you need to reword that because I said put a dome on the motherfucker forever.
Exactly. And I said, my exact words were, do I disagree with the NFL in allowing the Dolphins to do it? Yes. However, I do understand that if it's a duality situation where cold weather teams have an advantage based on whether it's time of year or the location of the game, I can understand why the NFL allows it. I said I disagree with it because me, myself, have dealt with athletes who've had heat stroke, and we've had to fucking put a kid in a fucking ice bath and fucking call 911 and have to have him fucking removed where we weren't sure what was going to happen with this kid.
Okay, hold on. Now I'm reading the statement that was let go by the NFL in regards to the game, the Cleveland Browns game that was moved to Detroit because of the snow. Not anywhere does it say in their statement due to the safety of the fans.
They're not going to, and that's my whole point, is they don't want to say that because, again, no, I didn't. I said that if they say due to inability to travel and whatever, it's not word for word saying for fan safety, it's implying for fan safety.
No, here's how they stated it.
NFL's got their ass covered. You already
And
know
it's very clear how it was stated. Due to public safety concerns and out of the abundance of caution in light of the ongoing weather emergency in Western New York, Browns, Bills, yada, yada, moved the Detroit Field League said Thursday. The decision to move the game from Highmark and Orchard Park was done in consultation with the Buffalo Bills and local and state authorities as the region prepares for the storm.
Again,
that's what it had to do with the fans. It had to do with public safety concerns.
And again,
right,
so
and your fans are public people.
No,
Just leave it in that. Jesus, let's quit arguing about something senseless, guys.
It's
Come
different.
The
A fucking
NFL give
snow
a flying fuck
blizzard
about
is not the same
sitting
thing
at
as
home
minus
that's
6 degrees.
public.
Wait, so when was there ever a state of emergency and a travel ban for cold weather?
Exactly.
You're missing the point of, again, it's stated due to public safety. Well, the only people that would be trying to travel to the fucking stadium are fans.
You can travel. Hold on, time out. You can travel in minus 6 degree weather. Nothing is prohibiting your travel. It's not a public safety concern.
Then why are they saying that they moved it because of a public safety
snow blizzard?
Jesus Christ!
That's my whole
just
point.
Agree to disagree and move on. Fuck.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I just figured out what CT stands for.
What's that?
Oh, here we go.
Certified card.
Oh, damn.
That's funny from the fucking guy who doesn't know his ass from his elbow, but that's fine. You're good.
Now let's take this argument one step further. Of the 20, the number's 20, right? 20 amputees.
I don't know. I don't know.
I never.
All I saw was the headline saying that multiple people had to have amputations.
Okay, how many are from the great state of Missouri, or the shithole known as Florida?
I don't know. How many?
I don't know. That's the point.
Well, then we'll never fucking
probably
know.
Bills fans watching the Dolphins play, probably.
I was nice and toasty warm when I was watching the Chiefs just demolish them. No players had to get amputations, did they?
Yeah, you know why? You know why? Because the fucking NFL knows we sure as fuck better take care of the fucking players. And the fact that, now I will give the NFL this little bit of credit. They did say that they brought in 16 giant ceramic heaters and set up zones where fans could watch. They set up big screens next to the heaters. But again, the whole point is yes, is that a mitigating circumstance? Yes, it mitigates it.
Can I say something, CT?
Allow them to go there, period. I think that establishes liability.
Well, CT, I have been snowmobiling in the Rocky Mountains in minus 10 degree weather during a whiteout snow blizzard. And I was up on the mountaintop for 3 hours. Now, I did not get frostbitten. And I was pretty warm and toasty in my fucking thermal gear, my professional thermal gear, where like you're safe, right? Like you can dress appropriately if you know the fucking weather.
I'm not disagreeing, but you're trying to make a fucking apples to oranges comparison of somebody who's actively going out skiing on a mountain, who knows that the risk of you possibly fucking being stuck out there or whatever may or may not happen, versus fans who say, because again, these generation of fucking people are Cajun, so we're gonna fucking leave it at that. But they're assuming There's no way the NFL is going to allow us to go to this game if it's not safe.
So the
Hang
NFL
on,
is
let Green Rat
liable.
go. Let
Hold on,
Green Rat go real quick.
Real quick. The NFL is liable because fans don't know how to look at the Weather Channel. I get it.
I don't think it has anything to do with looking at the Weather
Go ahead,
Channel. I
Green
think it
Rat.
has to do with it again. People fucking assume that if it was that fucking dangerous, the NFL wouldn't allow players out on the field, let alone fans in the stadium. That's an argument to be had. I'm moving on. We're not going to continue to rehash this. Let's move the fuck on. Green Rat, go ahead.
Just for my 2 cents, the only deal with the Kansas City Miami game was there was no reason not to move it till earlier in the day when it would have been feels like temperature, probably 30 degrees warmer. So
now that I agree with.
I have to say
that's a good point, Green Rat. They could have done that for sure.
And I don't understand why that was all a money grab.
Oh, that's a money thing, Green Rat. Prime time game at 8 p.m. Yeah, that's what that is.
Especially when it's the first time that we exclusively streamed on Peacock. They didn't want to fuck Peacock over because Peacock paid them a shit ton of money to have exclusive rights to that game. So, you know what? Fuck. The NFL's not liable. It's fucking Peacock. There you go. That fucking satisfies everybody. So, let's blame Peacock.
And the other thing is that just the other day up here in the great state of Iowa, it was almost 80 degrees. 30 hours later, it was like a wind chill of like -20.
Yeah, we had that like the week.
Talk about fucking cold. So I could just imagine players, because I don't think Miami flew down there and was there all week and stuff. Man, that difference in change, man, I didn't even try to work. I was out for about 20 minutes and I said, fuck this.
Well, the weather clearly affected Tua. He had one of the worst games.
See, and I can agree with that, but the problem that I have with that is I blame Mike McDaniel, and partial for that is we saw the first drive of Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, and we got the fucking 3 and out. Why? Because they had him throw fucking 2 passes. They ran first down, and the next 2 were throws, and they were so fucking wild because of the wind. It allowed Patrick Mahomes to go, oh, okay, I see how this is going to work. Let me kind of hone in a little bit. The thing is McDaniel wanted to run the ball so much that then your first pass, the first pass you asked Tua to throw, it sails because of the fucking wind and gets intercepted. So Andy Reid has the sense to say, hey, let me have Patrick Mahomes throw a couple throwaway passes just to let him get used to the wind, see what the fuck's going on. But Mike McDaniel didn't have the forethought to do the same thing. No comments?
No, it's just Patrick Mahomes has a much stronger arm for that game. I mean,
and I
throwing into the wind.
I'm not disputing that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a stronger arm. I'm saying it doesn't make sense whether you have a strong arm or not, that you wouldn't ask your quarterback the first throw to be a critical 3rd and 6 instead of saying, hey, on 1st and 10, let's call a pass play. If it fucks up, okay, so be it. Just like Andy Reid did with Patrick Mahomes. All right, we got the 3 and out, but I got him a couple passes in this direction of the wind, so he kind of gets a gauge on what's going on here. Mike McDaniel didn't do that. The very first pass is 3rd and fucking 6 on a crucial fucking down, and it sails because of the wind. It gets intercepted, and then we're like, oh, fuck, Tua sucks. Or is it, hey.
I don't think any of that. I think it's just a matter of we knew that our defense was lacking pass rushers and some, had a bunch of holes in the defense. And Mike McDaniel was trying to run the ball too much because he wanted to try to keep the game close, and it just didn't fucking work out. I mean,
I could agree with that too, but again, you still have to give your quarterback an opportunity to gauge things before you just throw him into the fucking fire. That
you
fucking
can gauge that in warm-ups.
Well, if that's the case, though, in warm-ups, say they're warming up on one side of the field, but they're starting on the opposite side of the field, where the wind and the variance could be completely different.
Well, I mean, when you're Patrick Mahomes, you can like kick the kicker's ball around and shit like that. So, I mean,
yeah,
that should have been a brawl if it was back with like the Ravens back in the days.
Yeah,
bro.
Steelers or something.
First, they threw his helmet because they asked him to move. He was nice enough to move his helmet, and then they fucked with him, and they were like, "Oh, you moved it over there, great." But I'm going to fucking throw it anyway because I don't feel like he moved it far enough. And look, I got to say, man, Sanders bitched out because Sanders, after they threw his helmet, he went and apologized to them. And then when he was kicking, they went and grabbed his tee and threw his tee too. At that point, yeah, look, I was nice with the helmet thing. I apologize. Look, you know, you asked me to move. I moved it. You guys don't feel like I moved it far enough. Whatever, that's fine. But when they come and grab your kicking tee and they throw it, nah, at this point, no. That's twice now. Now you're fucking just being a bitch. Something should have been had at that point.
Good little scrum would have been all right.
Exactly. Just at least if you want to quote unquote rile up Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, at least get your own guys riled up at the same time.
Yeah, it was a bad move on that kicker's part, man. He should have got his ass out of there. But hey, I don't care what the circumstance.
I don't think about out of there. Yeah, I think that he should fuck up for himself.
You're poking a bear. You're poking a bear right there. You're poking a bear.
Well, I think there's probably etiquette out there in warm-ups and stuff, and I obviously don't know what it is, but I'm sure there's something that.
Mike Vanderjagt went on fucking Pat McAfee and said that there is etiquette, that each kicker practices kicks going both ways in warm-ups on each side of the field.
Well, that's not etiquette.
So you're saying Kelce and Mahomes are douches. Got it.
Pretty much. That's what Mike Vanderjagt said is, look, he had been doing it for however long Vanderjagt's been doing it. He said, I've never had anybody come up to me while I was warming up on the opponent's side of the field. Why? Because their kicker came on our side of the field and did the same thing. And it's an etiquette of, you don't fuck with him, let him do his shit, let him get out, and you can go back to business. Even Mike Vanderjagt said it was a dick move, but again, how much of that move was made not to be dicks per se, but to try to get a mental edge. And obviously, it worked.
A bit of both. Right.
But Mike Vanderjagt himself did say that it is etiquette that when the other kicker comes to your side to take a few kicks, you leave him the fuck alone. You don't fuck with them. It's just, it happens every fucking pregame. But
you're right, but it's also etiquette that you don't impede the other players' warm-ups either. No reason that he had to put his helmet where he did.
He put his helmet next to the fucking goalposts.
It was on the goal.
No, it was at the goalpost because they have a video of Patrick Mahomes. They ask him to move it. You see them go up to him and start pointing at his helmet, which is under the goalpost. He moves it to the other side of the goalpost, thinking, okay, you want that half of the field, that's fine. He moved it to the other side of the goalpost, and they got upset. They grabbed it and threw it toward the sideline at the goalpost. Essentially, again, I think they did it to get in his head, and it worked.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, he's at the 40-yard line taking practice kicks, and they come and grab his tee and throw his tee to the sideline. Bro, that's them getting in his head. And he let them, by not fucking standing up to them and even fucking saying something to him like, look, bro, I moved my helmet. You threw it just to be a dick. Now I'm out here taking my kicks and you want to throw my tee too? Now you're just being an asshole.
I would have kicked off and fucking hit one of them.
Hell yeah.
But you get what I'm saying is, bro, like, I get it from Jason Sanders' point of view. Okay, the first time you apologize, sorry, you asked me to move it. I moved it to the other side of the goalpost. I thought, that would be enough. But obviously, they wanted to start some shit. But once they grabbed his tee when he was kicking at the 40-yard line, yeah, then something needs to fucking happen. That's ridiculous. That's just, again, that's them playing mind games, and
yeah, exactly.
Obviously,
it worked. There was mind games going on there. Somebody did a little something they shouldn't have been doing, and the other person brought it back. You doubled up. That's what I was saying. When the kicker looked up and realized he was fucking with Mahomes and Kelsey, then it's time for the kicker to back the fuck out.
So wasn't there also a team this year that they did a wake-up call at like 6 or something in the morning?
Say that again?
What, they set off the fire alarm?
Did one of the hotels do the fire alarm or something?
Oh, yeah, during the Super Bowl. Yeah, no, that was Super Bowl week. Yeah, that was Super Bowl week that somebody set the fire alarm off in the Chiefs hotel. But they did say, the players said they didn't mind it because they had to be up at like 7. It was like 30 minutes before they had to get up. So they were like, look, at least it wasn't like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning is what they were saying.
Right.
I mean, some of them were still upset about it, but they were like, look, at least it wasn't dead fucking midnight. You know what I mean? Like the middle of the night. Right. It was pretty much time that they were going to get up anyway. But there were some players that were still pissed off about it. They were like, look, man, I got my routine and I get up. Then I go to the training room and I do this. And man, I got up early. It made me in a bad mood. Minutes. Yeah, it made me in a bad mood and whatever. And I'm like, bro, if you get that fucking worked up over 30 fucking minutes, bro,
like shut your ass.
Problem. There's a problem, bro.
That's what happens with really old people.
That 30 minutes is key.
Yeah, that 30 minutes is key.
People, these guys are fucking in their 20s. Maybe some of them in their early 30s. We're not talking about a 67-year-old man.
Man, when you're in that deep sleep, that 30 minutes, shit.
Hell yeah.
You need that sure. 30.
But damn, man, hey, I hate to do it. We got 31 watching out there. We appreciate everybody.
Sure.
For those of y'all not watching on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that, please come on over to YouTube. Miami Dolphins content. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell. But hey, I hate to do this to people, but man, we gotta go fucking watch O'Malley get his ass knocked out. And
Cheeto, baby, let's go, Cheeto.
Look, I want O'Malley to knock this motherfucker out. So me and Bleezy are on the opposite sides of this ring now. Hey, we're going to get it. For those of y'all, go watch that UFC fight. Come on Monday night, 8:30 sharp, here on Miami Dolphins content. Talk some shit with us. Talk some Dolphins with
Monday
us.
Monday night.
We will leave you guys. 30. Yeah, man. Man, obviously, again, there's plenty of stuff to come. The draft is coming up April 26th. there's so much shit in between. We got free agency. We'll see where the Dolphins are going. But
Hey, we
Green
got some
Rat.
guests. We got some guests lined up too, potentially. CT. Just so
Oh
everybody knows,
yeah.
we can't really talk about
We're
it.
gonna keep those. Yeah, we're gonna keep those under wraps until we have final confirmation of the times. We have confirmation of them coming, but until we have confirmation of
Let
when
the
they
people
will be.
know. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah, for
'Cause we
sure.
got some
And they're
stuff
big
on.
ones, man. Dolphin is going to be interested in this one. Dolphin is going to be interested in the next guest we got lined up. But Michael K, final thoughts, brother.
Oh, I got no final thoughts.
All right, Green Rat, final thoughts.
Well, if Michael K doesn't have any final thoughts, I don't have any final thoughts.
Oh my God, they're both bitching out. All right, go ahead, Bleezy.
Final thoughts. Tyreek finds himself in another situation. You know, what's the over under on Tyreek's situations slash lawsuits
10.
in the offseason?
10. Oh, 10.
2 or 3?
You got to go the over on that one. He's already at 2.
I know.
Michael K said he's got 6 months to go before the season starts. Damn.
He's already got 2.
And who knows? No,
I want to say this. I want to say this though. Come on, Bleezy. You got to give him credit. This time he didn't retaliate. He did learn from his prior mistakes, so you got to give him credit there. But again, we've also said on the show, you don't need to put yourself in the position to be in these situations. But again, we don't know the details. This bitch could have been out here trying to start shit. But again, at least he didn't get arrested or anything like that. So that's a good thing.
Right.
But my final thoughts are fuck Chris Grier. He better start getting this shit together. Whether you're going to extend to it and get some money, you better fucking do it. Whatever you're going to restructure, whoever, however, I want to start seeing some money rolling in on the plus side. I'm tired of being in the red. We still have holes to fill. We have guys to get. And we got to get back on track this year. So we appreciate everybody coming out again. 8:30 Monday nights. We're here throughout the week on occasion. Impromptu is what we do. When shit happens, we come on and talk about it. But we will leave you guys with our favorite clip. As always, Phins up. See you.
Y'all here for that tiger, huh? You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all need to be here for a real one though. Tigers ain't real ones. You know what I'm saying? The real attract. Bring that camera down here. Yeah, you see it. You see it. You know what I'm saying?